So we are loading into battle with our barbarians. So after I did this last time, some people gave me some excellent tips in the comments about perhaps how to play these guys a little bit better. So I've kind of tried to adjust my army based on this, and I've taken a few different units. So we've got a couple of berserkers, but not quite so many. And I've tried to equip my units. I've sort of shunned the light spearmen and gone for sort of a heavier spear unit. Oh, well, that goes really dense, doesn't it? So we'll leave that off for now. They can also go into wedge, which is kind of cool. We've got our Bloodsworn, which are sort of our... they're not particularly good units, but they've got really high AP damage, apparently. So they're going to be trying to try and fight our enemy armoured units. And then we've got our Sword Masters, who are going to sort of form the flanks, because I think this is kind of the most important spot of the army. So we're going to have them like that. We have, of course, got our Slingers, our Germanic Slingers, just a really cheap unit to make up the bulk of the difference. And then we've got our Berserkers, who we're just going to sort of send in as and when is needed. We've also got our General and our Cavalry. Probably going to put both of these together, because I think if we're going to do Cavalry, we're going to go for Cavalry Dominance. I really like these heavy Cavalry. Let's just nudge them back a little bit more so they're both fully covered by the forest there, so the enemy doesn't quite know what we've got going on. And yeah, okay, I'm ready. Cool, so let's have a look at his setup. As we can see, so he's gone for the Iberian infantry, he's gone for a lot of these Iberian slingers, well, they're actually the same sort of number as me, but I don't know if they're going to be more effective than my guys. Missile damage is similar, range is similar, they are pretty much the same unit then in effect, so that's fine. Then we've got medium spear infantry, kind of a similar setup to me, before we're falling back to some of these veteran shielded warriors, which he does seem to have more of. Before he's got some sort of medium infantry at the back and a decent amount of cavalry. A lot of these medium cavalry here. So he's gone for a much deeper line than I have. Let's think about making some changes here, possibly. I think we'll probably bring these Sword Masters down the line slightly. Yeah, we'll pull you out. I'm going to adjust the line here. We're going to put these Sword Masters here in the middle. To some extent, yes, it does slightly alter. It kind of forces this unit into combat and lowers my flexibility a little bit, but they are quite a good unit. And he's adjusting his position as well. We're obviously on the defensive here, which isn't necessarily a good thing for us. But then again, at the same time, given I'm sure you guys know my limited skill levels, and being on the defensive does in some sense give me some advantages, or at least a few more options, or a little less pace, so it's going to give me a reasonable chance. His cavalry seem relatively light. Yeah, all his cavalry are kind of relatively light. I'm not too worried about engaging them with my sort of much heavier noble riders. And these proved to be one of the best units in the last battle with these guys. Did absolutely amazingly against even the heavy Roman cavalry. So I want to keep them hidden for the moment. Hopefully they'll stay hidden in that forest. The enemy slingers are probably going to do a good job of getting themselves hidden if we're not careful, aren't they? It's probably quite clever on their part. I should probably think about moving myself further down here. I don't want to get caught where they can hide their slingers in this forest here and rain down stones on my slingers, and yet I can't return the favour, which is what I'm trying to avoid. So let's bring myself down here. If I can sort of nudge myself around on a thing, I might be able to get all three of my units shooting onto the end of one of his units to try and give myself a localised fire superiority. If he wants to shoot at my spear wall, he can do. I don't know what sort of level of casualties he'll sort of cause doing that. Probably quite a few. Yeah, you see, he's bringing his slingers back round. Right thing for him to do. Oops. Let's do that. We'll stick you on guard mode as well, so you don't do anything silly. Because this is going to turn into a skirmishing war very shortly at this rate. Still got these unit of slingers down here. It's still turning into a pretty pitched battle, isn't it, in many ways? I'm keeping my cavalry here. They're going to unleash... basically, once this battle starts to come out, I'm going to swing those guys around. Looks like he's pushing lower down into the line. Interesting move. Start to try and get our slingers to apply some pressure here now. He's obviously come in range of me as well. Is he going to get the first sling off? Probably. Stopped at a good time. Probably going to fling each other at the same time, aren't we? Yeah. Maybe pushing my slingers forward wasn't the right move there. I was just trying to sort of concentrate my fire on one unit. Neither side being tremendously successful in causing any damage here. Pull back, pull back. Quickly now, quickly now, quickly now. He's going in with one of his cavalry there. Fine, he's going to have to skirmish himself away. Let's definitely get some shots on his cavalry there as he goes. Got some cavalry there on the flank, look. Gotta be careful of that. Keep up the fire on. Not doing too badly so far. He's perhaps focusing attention more on my units, whereas I'm focusing more on his actual air slingers. Pushing forward our slingers again. Make sure he's not doing anything that I don't want him to. Nothing particularly stands out.
The enemy's hidden units.
Or just not being flanked or anything silly like that. Doesn't look like we are. Pull these guys back. He's moving up pretty hard now, by the looks of things. Whether he's just going to force this into an immediate fight. Trying to force those guys around. I'm trying to sort of get the envelopment. If he's going to push further down, I'm going to swing my army around. So it kind of, hopefully, will stop him doing that quite so much. Because if he can't reasonably get his forces down, then he's not really going to do a lot about that. We are starting to diminish his slingers now. We, of course, are taking the casualties in the line. Particularly, what's he targeting? Bloodsworn, I'm not too worried about that. My sword masters are still in good condition. He's pushing it, some of his veteran infantry there. Looks like this pitch battle is about to begin really in earnest. Let's slant you round slightly. He's not really playing how I would like him to. Which is probably understandable. Looks like we're about to break one of his units of slingers. It's fine. We're being probably excessively defensive. Is he actually going to charge some of my spear walls? Okay, well that was actually quite effective, wasn't it? Let's have a look at this. We're going to keep... Okay, looks like the conflicts are breaking out. What are we going to do here? How many casualties is he going to take by doing that? Probably not enough. Let's get those berserkers in there. Where I should have my units better selected, shouldn't I? Push those units there, and then start to press these guys up here. Then let's unleash our cavalry. Who is wavering? Our Bloodsworn really got hammered there, hard. Let's try and get these slingers back if we can. Ah, they've come around behind us. Sneaky bastards. Well done on his part. Let's get these sword masters in on this enemy general unit. Ooh, bit of that. Okay, bring our cavalry around to try and tackle this guy here. Wow, this is turning into a tough battle already, isn't it? Where are our cavalry gone? Over here. Come on, guys, get stuck in, please, quickly. I'm kind of spreading my force here excessively. I'll go out with a few javelins at least, and get stuck into them, and get stuck into them. Okay, it's not really going as planned, and most of our units are starting to struggle here now. Is that going to give me a morale buff?
General is under attack.
Not really very helpful, is it?
Warriors of Germania!
Come on, not you, don't get stuck in. Most of our units are routing already. We're struggling really against their superior unit troops. Their heavy infantry are really doing a good job against us. I'll pull those guys out to get some shots in there. We are causing some casualties against his general's unit, but probably not enough to really be worthwhile, and our casualties are really starting to mount up now. We're not even really killing that many of his medium cavalry. Our guys here are kind of getting surrounded, so that's not looking quite so good for us. What else, if anything, can we do? Or even our sword masters are struggling, look, against these enemy heavy melee infantry. Think about getting some of these abilities on now. Yeah, really not going quite according to plan. Maybe if we can kill his enemy general. Let's bring these guys down here. I forgot about them. Ah, yeah. Not good. Let's go in against his cavalry and see if we can get some of these guys to damage. I think he's just sweeping us away really easily now. Even with a headhunt activated, it's not going to be enough. It's turning into just a mass melee fight in this one engagement. Try and keep the slingers firing, but I think they're pretty much lost. Over here, you know, we're not really even killing their medium infantry very effectively, are we? No, it's not really worked out for us. Where's our general? Is there anything of their units that are even close to routing? Which is just not really, is there?
An entire unit has perished.
Try and get one of their cavalry to waver. They're wavering, but I'm seeing they've activated their morale buff, so they're going to be them holding on now. Their general's taking a lot of casualties, but not enough for him to actually rout. And you can see, look at the amount of losses we've taken. I'm not quite sure that went right. He just seemed to have such a superior number of heavy infantry. You know, these Swabide, if I take one unit of these swordmasters who have all actually now routed, oh, there's berserkers, they're like very expensive as a unit, and that means they're kind of limited on the size of my army. Whereas he can seem to take a large amount of everything else, plus all his heavy infantry as well, without any real repercussions. Whereas we don't seem to be able to do that, which kind of is slightly annoying. We'll activate our berserkers. I think even they've routed. And yeah, there goes everyone. Not really. It didn't really go according to plan as I had hoped. I've noticed as well that this is the faction he was playing as, these Spanish barbarians, is a faction that I'm not actually able to take. I don't know if that's because it's part of an expansion pack maybe, and so therefore I can't access it. But perhaps seems to be the way. Yeah, you see, he deployed a lot more units than me, and a lot of his units were also these very heavy infantry. If I try and take 5 lots of my version of heavy infantry, then, you know, that would be pretty much my entire army because of the cost. That's kind of strange. But yeah, I noticed, I think this must be part of a DLC that I don't own for Rome 2, which kind of limits me from getting them. So, that didn't really go according to plan, but hopefully you enjoyed it none all the same. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to win one of these one day, and if I do, then pretty pleased. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Where did I go wrong? What can I do to improve for the next battle? And hopefully I shall see you all on the next video.